We're worried. Worried about your children. Worried about your parents. Worried about your marriage. Worried about your job. Worried about your career. It's what you think about when you go to sleep. It's what you think about when you wake up in the middle of the night. You know, when you wake up and you're mid-thought. You ever had that where you're asleep and you wake up and you catch yourself thinking right in the middle of sleep? And your head is so noisy and the storm is so loud, you can't hear anything else. Peace to you. Peace to you. Now, I know the situation hasn't changed. I know you're still dealing with whatever you were dealing with. What I pray has changed, what I'm hoping has changed, is your awareness that Jesus is here. And if Jesus is here, it's going to be all right. Amen. Romans 8. For we know that all things work together for good, for those who love God and called according to his purposes. I'll remind you again of a story that I tell often about this passage. To me, in my imagination, I see God as this great chef, and we're walking by throwing stuff in this great pot he's working on. And that's stuff in our life. And every now and then somebody else will walk by and throw something in our pot, right? Because everything that happens in our lives is not our fault. What Paul says, that I've been with the Father enough to know that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what's going on, no matter what mistake you make, no matter what anybody else does to you, our God is strong enough, creative enough, loving enough, good enough to make something good out of it, so that the worst moment of your life becomes the first line of your testimony. So that the moment that you were most wounded by, that you were most broken by, that you were most afraid of, becomes the first thing that you tell somebody. Because you know of God's goodness in that moment. You know of the strength that comes when he is there. I know in whom I have believed, Paul writes to Timothy, and I'm confident that he's able. Paul writes to the Philippians, I want you to know what's happened since I've been in jail. Because of my imprisonment, the entire Praetorian Guard has heard the gospel of Jesus Christ. I was thrown in jail. God's good enough that I got to preach every day to somebody new. See? You will have trouble in the world. That's a direct quote from Jesus. You will have trouble. But, there's that wonderful word, okay? We know how this word works, right? It discounts anything said before it, okay? You get the letter, I really, or email, I've really loved dating you for the last 3 months, but, okay, discounts everything before, okay? You will have trouble in the world, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. Amen. Situation hasn't changed. We got trouble. What has changed is the confidence that Jesus has overcome. Peace. I know you're in the middle of a storm. It's just rain to Jesus. I know the mountain is high. It's just walking to Jesus. Peace be to you. Jesus is here. It's going to be all right.